Good.
Yes, the other one. I haven't heard from some people from someone just assuming when they told a colleague, maybe she just got it. But I'd like to call the meeting to order.
Talk a little louder.
Pardon?
Speak louder.
Speak louder.
There you go. Thank you.
It's been a
I know.
As you may Connor was attending the Pussy meeting, and that's why they are not here. Colleen asked me to tell you that due to the time required for the annual report, the time us would be deals like that. And the only other thing I want to say before I forget is that Colleen also asked that you, if you're planning on attending dinner, please register.
Colleen and I did it today.
Jesse, you're going to handle the social stuff?
Yeah, I'm going to do social work and design. So yeah, so hi everybody. So social work has had another busy month. We have our new intern from BC that started, and she has been wonderful. Her name is Stephanie. You'll see her in this new compass coming out. So we've really gotten a handle on our short-term counseling program waitlist, which has been really nice. We're able to take people pretty quickly now when they call. So that's been a long time coming. We're really excited about that. We had our annual SNAP review. As you all know, we're a SNAP certified intake site, so people can come to us for help applying for SNAP, which is the Massachusetts Food Stamps program. So every year we have to do an annual review, the sort of audit, if you will. So we had that, and that went well. So we're going to continue on with that program, and that program reimburses us for any time that we basically reimburses us our hourly rate for any time we spend helping people access that program. And we just really value it. It's a good service to the community, and it also gives us access to SNAP staff if we have any questions. It's easier to get in touch with them, so there's a side benefit there. We're also gearing up for fuel assistance season, which is a federal program that we are an application site for. People can get assistance paying for their whatever their primary heating source is. So renewals for people already on the program went out. So we're starting to get people coming in asking for help with that, and new applications now we have. So anyone new to the program can come to us or the public health department, and we can do that application with them. Our homelessness prevention coalition, which we've been spearheading out of the CAP, has kind of picked up in frequency. We've been tracking the number of homelessness incidents in Needham. And we've gotten the hospital now as part of that coalition, contributing data at the last meeting. So we've really now have more data to look at to get a better sense of like kind of what the general need is. We've been tracking, demographics of requests that we get, and kind of what people who are homeless, who come to us, what are they looking for? Is it shelter? Is it food? Is it clothing? So we can figure out kind of how to best create a program to support that. We've been looking at putting together resource packets of shelters, potentially packets of shelf-stable food, clothing, something easily accessible that we can give out if someone walks in and needs help. We have two kind of big grant applications in process, both around the same idea around food security. We're looking to create sort of a mobile market of prepared meals here at the senior center to supplement the food pantry in town. So we work so closely with the Needham Community Council. They're a great resource. The majority of the food they give out is ingredients that need preparation or shelf-stable ingredients. And our idea is to have meals, ready-made, nutritious meals, ready to give out, with the understanding that some people don't have the ability or resources to cook the ingredients, whether it's physical limitations or cognitive limitations. And our goal would be to provide an extra meal support for people on the weekends when our meal service isn't running, and when, Traveling Meals gives meals for the weekend, but the feedback we're getting from a lot of people is that weekends are really hard, evenings and weekends. So We've applied for a grant from Tufts. We had an initial meeting with them to pitch our idea. We'll hear back by the end of the year. And then our initial proposal to Metro West Health Foundation was approved, which means now we can write a real proposal. So let's see if they'll get it. So that's really exciting for us. It's a great opportunity for us to partner with the Needham Community Council as well, and expand food access. I think that's it. From the social work side of things, any questions? Okay.
That's great.
Good. Good. Thank you. Hopefully they'll say yes. Shine, I'm just gonna, it's on my phone, so I'm not texting, I'm reading, so forgive me.
He deserves not, they deserve
Yes.
not to be here after the meeting. Today was a 3-4 hour training for open enrollment.
Yeah, so they're taking a much deserved night to recover. So they had monthly counselor meetings, 2 in September, focused on Medicare Advantage plans. And as Dan said, they're really preparing for open enrollment, which starts the 15th, Sunday, on a Sunday. Ooh. They've been really upping their efforts to do presentations in the community. So they did one at the Newton Council on Aging, Maplewood Assisted Living, and the Sudbury Council on Aging. They went to a Medicare boot camp training for open enrollment at the end of September. And they, have been busy in the previous weeks preparing packets and information that all went out to the counselors today. They also wrote an article that went out to all the COAs to go in their newsletters, just promoting open enrollment, and just giving information out, reminding people, beneficiaries and caregivers to be aware and to sign up for new plans if they need to. So it's certainly a busy year for them. They've also been navigating, the state gave extra earmark funding for the program this year, which they've done the last few years. So they're in the process of putting together a budget for how they're going to use that, mostly around outreach. So.
I'll just add, open enrollment, the drug plans have not changed a lot from last year. A lot of the premiums went up. The dramatic changes in Medicare drugs start next year. No more than $2,000 a person out of pocket starting next year, and then negotiated prices the year after. Going to be a lot of changes after this year, but not too many this year, which is okay. Booked a lot already.
Yeah.
I know in Watertown, I'm booked through the end of November.
Are you really? Wow.
So the overflow is in Needham and Framingham. We use the computer room. We use 4 or 5 people at a time, and that handles that.
I should also mention, thank you for saying that, we're working with the Needham Housing Authority to do some satellite appointments. Michelle and Amy over at the Housing Authority. So for people who, for whatever reason, find it hard to get here, we're hoping to do a few days of appointments over there in their community rooms. Yeah, I don't have she's out. Programming has been very, very busy. You all know we have their new support specialist at the front desk, doing 4 days a week helping at the front desk. That's a part-time position that's relatively new. So that's been really helpful. Still doing the hybrid model of programming, lots of in-person and remote. I was just pulling the numbers for we're doing FY25 budget right now, and every year I started at 2021 and going forward, the numbers of check-ins for programming has just been going up and up and up. So they're definitely busy. That's all I got.
You also student?
Stefan, he's on vacation as well. So I'm sorry. I know he's attending a big training with MassDOT on Monday and Tuesday, so he'll be able to be a certified instructor to teach our drivers how to do the wheelchair lift, which is very exciting. So they won't have to go off-site for that training anymore. 4 vans are still still all running. Drivers are still doing a lot of meal deliveries with the help of volunteers. And then, you know, we've picked up a lot of kind of old transportation services. We're doing more trips to the grocery store, trips around town. And we're steadily going through the money for the medical taxi program, which Stefan has been running. That was a grant through Mass Development for just under $50,000 to give rides to medical appointments within 8 miles. So we've been focusing with that program on Boston appointments, because if there's any other resource in town that will take someone to where they need to go, we try to use that, because taxis are so expensive. So we've been trying to preserve the money for those rides.
That money's still available?
Yeah, it's still going. Yeah, it's lasted longer than we thought. One of the issues we've actually run into that we didn't anticipate is on the taxi end side of them not having enough cars and drivers to field the demands. There's not a lot of taxi companies out there yet left. So sometimes we call and they don't have a driver there to do it, unfortunately.
And they won't allow Uber or anything like that.
No, this grant is specifically for taxi.
taxi.
Yeah, I think it's through Mass Development. They're trying to
Make that lighter. Someone should comment, because there are enough taxis, there are no taxis.
yeah, no, it's definitely a problem. The first time we did the grant, I don't know, a few years ago, we had trouble finding an agency to partner with. But you know, the community council has their great lift program, so we kind of work hand in hand. We also the ride has a partnership with Uber or Lyft, so we try and get people on that program if they're eligible. I think I've done enough talking. Thank you. Please.
Really want us to Germany, the last. So,
I'll make a motion to approve the June meeting minutes.
Second.
I just saw one typo.
Yeah, we need a voice vote for the June one. I think officially we need a
Oh, we can
voice
say
vote,
aye,
a unanimous voice vote.
That was so I approved it.
Thank you.
I didn't think we changed.
Should say I have copies up here if anyone needs them.
No, I got
What's the change, Penny? Do you remember? The typo that you found?
That is staying when I thought she had date.
Okay, so data, okay.
So that was the only thing I saw.
Okay, I'll change it. I'll find it and change it.
When a word is replaced by a word, so you can't find it.
Yeah, okay.
That's
Motion to.
so moved.
Second,
second.
thank you.
Yeah.
All those in favor? All those.
Aye.
Aye. Well done.
Okay,
I've got a couple of things that I'll mention. I remember last month I mentioned I had a couple of topics that when we met at the Western Suburban Veterans District meeting in Weston, Mass. I tabled them last month because I had enough of everything else to say, but just a couple of quick ones first. The Voice of Democracy and the Patriots Pen, which basically ends this month for entries to come into the VFWs. VFWs all over the United States. The chaplain from our post had sent out all kinds of information on to the public schools in town, on the town website, the Observer, from what I understand too, on the Facebook, everything, letting the people know that that's out there. We did have participation last year. As a matter of fact, nobody loses. Every entrant that comes into on a post level gets an award. They get something from the state. They get their certificates. Then it goes from the post level to the district, from the district to the state, from the state to the federal. And last year we had a middle school student from Needham that made it all the way from our post to the district to the state, and he wound up in Washington, D.C. with his parents. to compete for the national level. And I think he became, they picked like 50 students, top one gets $35,000. He became number 15 out of 50. So it is a worthwhile thing, but again, you got to write an essay, you got to do something, you got to turn it in, but it's free money for the effort. The other thing I wanted to mention also, November 2nd, which is the first Thursday of the month, we have our regular VFW membership meeting, general membership. This coming month, when we have it, it's going to be the first one that we're going to have since prior to the pandemic, where we have the paraplegic dinner. So basically during that dinner, we have veterans come from the West Roxbury VA, as well as from the Brockton VA. Vans from those organizations bring them, they're on wheelchairs. They come in, they have some of their own aids and helps that help them basically eat or do whatever they're gonna do at the post. And then after that, they have a so-called poker night where they play cards and everything. They get a little bit of entertainment in that respect. And I think this year, from what I heard, the grand prize for the person that has the most poker chips at the end gets a Patriots football signed by a Patriots player. So I guess that'll be pretty good. Hopefully everybody is interested in the football that may be the winner. The other one that I wanted to mention too is in town at the transfer station. We do have, and I mentioned it before, we did accomplish, it did get done, a flag recycling bin. And it's pretty good size. There's a regular 3x5 flag that hangs on the front of it. So that makes it at least 5 feet where the flag is. The bin is a little bit higher. There have been things where the veteran service officer was trying to work between the 5 towns and have the flags appropriately disposed of. The last thing that took place, Wellesley was going to take Needham's. However, Wellesley backed out of it. A little bit too much, I guess, for their fire department to handle when they do their own. So, so bottom line is, we from the post dumped out a couple of bags. I took one day at the transfer station, dumping them in. The bin was about 3/4 full, because you could tell by dumping in. I did go in and kind of congratulate somebody that was working there, whoever accomplished the thing. And I spoke a little bit with Chris, who works at the transfer station, mentioning about this business where we lost Wellesley's acceptance of our flags. And he mentioned that there's a fellow by the name of Timmerman. I don't know if it's John or Joe.
John.
Is it John? He basically mentioned that he has a friend, Timmerman has some kind of a friend on the Cape, that he's looking to work with that fellow. That fellow's looking to take the flags and I guess dispose of them in an appropriate manner. So that's cooking, that's in the works. Hopefully we keep our fingers crossed. And the veteran service office will be behind some of that as well. The other things that I did want to mention, I won't mention all of them. I'll save a couple of them for next time. But we did have, in September, we did have the Veterans, West Suburban Veterans District meeting. They basically used to always have this once a month, or quarterly, I should say. They used to attend, the town managers would attend from all 5 towns. You never had a veteran there. I look at some of the reports that were online on the town site. Nothing was published there that took place. And it said the public, 0 for public. I guess nobody was invited. Veteran wasn't invited. So this past time, with our new veteran service officer, when he took over in, I think it was the beginning part of the year, in March, he had a meeting with all 5 town managers. He passed along the information that, some of it that I had, that I passed along to our deputy director before. He made a whole packet, he passed it along, brought forward all this information in front of all the town managers. They all were all surprised. They never heard of anything about it. Of what was basically passed as law has not been implemented in the different towns, that he basically works with. So this past time in September, we had 3 veterans, Vietnam veterans from the VFW in Needham. We attended. They had one from a DAV, and they had one from, I believe it was from Weston, a senior person, a retired doctor who was a veteran as well, probably out of World War II or Korea or something, but he was an elderly gentleman. So all of us were sitting there at the meeting. I think the town managers were kind of surprised to see that there were some other folks in the meeting as well. But nevertheless, the meeting started, the meeting went on, and they had a couple of different issues. One of them obviously came up about the parking space that was commented on. We made comments before. The state directed each town to put a dedicated space for a veteran up at the town hall. They basically, Wellesley, surprisingly enough, Wellesley took it upon themselves. They do have a sign. They didn't erect it yet because evidently they're doing some remodeling around their town hall. So they're still waiting, but they did purchase a sign. So that was commented on. The other thing we commented on in the process as well, made the comment about the Needham one, where, yeah, they redid the town common, they repaved it, redid all the grass, redid all of that, but I made the comment that they kind of missed the boat because with the parking scenario, they didn't copy. It doesn't take much to copy something. They didn't do on the south side what they have on the north side. They didn't put in the diagonal parking. You double the number of spaces without doing anything. They just copied the same thing that was on the south side. If they would have done on the north side, they would have had more spaces. It would have been even more appropriate to have a veterans parking space. But nevertheless, we made our comment. I did make, I'll just highlight one more. There's a couple more, but I'll save some for next time. The one we did comment about because it was the Community Preservation Act. I'm sure everybody here is familiar with it. It's on your real estate tax bill. You see it there as a separate charge. The comment was made, as a matter of fact, I even made it to our previous deputy director that resigned last year. And when I was making it to her, I passed along the forms that basically other towns already have implemented. I was told by that person at the time that, oh yeah, that person is working with the town, they understand it, and it's in the process. But the problem that happened is when the meeting was done in March with our new veteran service officer, who had all of these sample forms and everything, the town manager said that they did not know anything about it, which is not surprising. But bottom line is, when you look at some other towns, and I had a couple of examples that I passed along, the Community Preservation Act, when I mentioned it, somebody was mentioning before as well, I guess they told the veteran service officer, oh, that the town of Needham has this in place since 2004. And yeah, there is a reduction. Well, yes, there is a reduction. Even when I went to the tax office, the tax assessor's office, to drop off some other paperwork, I mentioned it and they said, oh yeah, we partake, the town partakes in that. They gave me the forms that are passed along. And the forms basically that they have here are the ones that pertain to anybody that's 65 and older can apply for the Community Preservation Act to be exempted from your, or deleted from your real estate tax, but there's an income requirement. There's X number of pages that you need to fill out relative to who's in your household, what the income is, what your assets are. The variation in that aspect is for veterans, as it's basically was presented from the State House, and other towns already have this, it's only a 2-page form. And there is no income requirement. There are other towns, as a matter of fact, I had it from Northampton and Ludlow specifically. I know there's others, but they have the write-up in there. They have the forms, 2 pages, you fill them out. No income and no assets required for the veteran. I don't think that that's a discriminatory tactic, but it's passed by law from the State House. And the funny part is that we here, Needham, we're only about 12 miles away from the State House, but yet these towns in Western Mass, totally on the opposite side of the state, already have them implemented. And one of them, as a matter of fact, even when I went on the website for the town, they already had it for January of 2023. So they anticipated ahead of time and update the forms to reflect the new year that's going to be in effect. So it was interesting to note that along with a couple of other things that I will pass along next time, when it was mentioned, yeah, I guess maybe I got up and I spoke at the meeting. It was interesting to see the reactions from the particular different town managers, but it was interesting to note as well that Kate Fitzpatrick was there and she had pen in hand and was making some notations. Whether that gets anything done along the way or not, I don't know. But they will be having another quarterly meeting. This one happened in September, so maybe by December or something, they'll have another one. And usually they have it in Weston because I guess they get a lot of room out there. So I'm sure that we will be attending that one as well from the veteran standpoint to basically make our presence known. Maybe it'll get to be a little bit more important that they decide to do something and implement some of these programs that have already been passed by the State House, by our governor. Some of them go all the way back to 2018 and it's 2023. So, but I won't occupy any more time. I have a couple more, but I'll save them for next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ted.
Oh, you're a tough act to follow. Now Friends is doing okay. We had our meeting last week and we are down with donations for some reason, and I know nobody has money these days for donations, but we're trying to figure out a way to reach out by our compass and tell people we support a lot of the programs and so forth. But if they're slow, maybe sometimes people are saying that by after the first of the year, maybe okay, so we'll be better. The other thing that we worked on this past week, there have been suggestions that we advertise our gift shop. Now people are reverting back to calling it a boutique, which to me sounds a little upscale, but and we're working through various ways. Jen, who does our compass and does our social media, is good. We're doing it on a very low scale. I mean, after all, we're only our little gift shop. But somebody did suggest that when we have we have these half price sales once in a while, that maybe we put a sign up front on one of those days. I don't know how you feel about the temporary ones. I'm in the garden club, so our resale and our plant, we have one we keep in a garage somewhere. We just put them in the garage. You know, I'd have to have one made. I don't know how the Council on Aging would feel about having a sign out there temporarily, like 2 or 3 times a year. So we can work out, and I don't know whether we want to, you know, I think it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I don't either, but if we decide to go there, we just need to run it by the appropriate people. So that's it.
I have 2 quick things. And they did a great job, the landscapers, of clearing the sidewalks along the way. But by the gym, the foliage is going up the side and you really can't open the windows because it gets caught. So it's just a minor thing.
Oh.
And I'm sure we haven't heard from the MBTA yet about the park.
Not that I know of, no, but I can follow up.
Let's park.
Well, today was when we have a shine meeting like today, it really makes because we had all 22 towns people
Right,
here.
Yeah, they've come by and ticket, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you really shouldn't park in the MBTA lot, certainly
I
in
saw
the
people
morning.
there though. I took the last parking space and people.
No, a lot of people are park on Hillside, which is okay. Most of the shine people, but some people who come here regularly, it's not good.
Do people come on activities all day long, so they really occupy the space?
So I think there's 2 groups of people. There's the people that come sit in the cafeteria, go to a program, stay for lunch. And then I think there's a larger group that comes, uses the gym, uses the pool room, goes to a class, and then leaves. You know, so I think it's a combination. I think depends on the day. Yeah.
So I encountered the parking lot twice last week. Oh, now I understand what everybody's talking about.
Right. Well, today was bad because of the meeting.
Yeah. Any other old business? I have one thing I want to make you aware of. It's not technically our business, but I received this card in the mailbox for Needham's multifamily zoning. Did other people get it?
Everybody should have gotten one.
You got one?
Yeah.
I want to make you aware. Talk to Colleen about this. It's the MBTA communities who have trains that come to the community. Asked us to conform to the zoning district reasonable size multifamily housing plus and create a plan. And so I haven't really heard about this. Colleen, of course, had, as we might expect. But what I wanted to make you aware of, if you're interested in 10, there's going to be community workshops to stay informed about zoning planning board's doing. And one of them is on November 7 p.m. to on January 8th to March 7th. And I plan on going because I knew nothing about it. And talk about so much about housing, you know, that accommodates people. Colleen is also reaching out to her. She knows to find out about it. That's it. But you got, I don't know what
Everybody should have gotten one.
There's also an article today in the Needham Observer about
There is.
so pretty extensive about today. People should subscribe to that if they're not, because I think they're doing a pretty good job.
The lady that's kind of spearheading a lot of this, she has an interesting wish, and that is that everybody in the town knows about it. So exactly what you said doesn't happen. So that's why she's trying really hard to get the word around to everybody.
Well, I think with the internet and like people not reading newspapers, there's no one easy method to reach all the people.
She's got a lofty goal, but it's an interesting goal. Yeah.
This one was actually some information on month. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I didn't know.
And a lot of people get things like that and will just, you know, one more piece of paper that I don't want to look at. Yeah.
As a shy council, a lot of people get things from Mass Health in the mail and never open them.
Yeah. Yeah. But every place you go, if any meeting, you should try to do exactly what you're doing, bring it up.
Yeah. Any other news?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
That
That was fast.
Good job.